Hey, sewing friends. So I follow a number of sustainable fashion gals on Instagram. And I know the conversation has come up about, one of the most sustainable things that you can do, of course, is to reuse garments and make them into your own. And then how do you do that with the sewing machine that you don't know how to thread? So today I'm going to show you how to thread a sewing machine. In fact, I'm going to show you how to thread two sewing machines. I'm going to show you how to thread my sewing machine, and I'm going to show you how to thread my kid's sewing machine. So let's start first with mine. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it on, and mine has a little door that you open up to get to the thread. Yours might have a little thing on the top here where you stick the thread in, similar to my kids, and I'll show you that too. So this is my kid's sewing machine. Isn't this adorable? It's totally adorable. Okay, so this is a Janome. This is a Sew Mini, and I actually kept this, even though it's like a little, it's got some metal parts to it, but a lot of it's plastic. But I actually kept it because I can put it in a backpack and take it with me to places. So it's like a travel machine. So this is actually my kid's machine. So I'm going to show you this one too. But this one has a little thread spool on the top back here that you can see. There's a little thing right here. I'll just show you right there. Little thread spool right up there. So either it's going to be in a front, in a door, or something like that, and you're going to thread it that way. So I'll show you how to thread both machines. I'm going to put this one off to the side for now, and looks like I got a thread hanging out here, so I'm going to just trim that off. All right. Hopefully I don't knock this thing over while I'm doing it, because I am kind of close up here. Now I have thread in this already, but I'm just going to rethread it. So I'm actually sewing jeans right now, so I have jeans top stitching thread here, and as you can see, I'm almost out, and I'm going to have to definitely go to my local fabric store today if I'm going to be working on this project any time longer, because I am almost out. So I'm just going to go ahead and pull this thread spool off like it never even existed. It's out of there. Okay. So I want to take my thread, and if this is a Gutermann thread, you see you've got this part right here, and then you've got this part. This is the part that you wrap around when you're trying to secure your thread in your box, and you actually wrap it around this little thing, and then it like secures the thread, so it's not going to come out. So that way it won't come unraveled in your thread box. I have a big thread box. So you want to take it off of that, and then I actually turn it around this way because I don't want the thread getting caught in here when I'm stitching, right? And sometimes if there shouldn't be any pressure in here, but I just don't want to take any chances. So I always put that at the back so that it's pulling the thread from the front this way. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to slide it on my thread holder. Now, if your thread holder is like mine, it has a little thread holder cap. You're going to want to go ahead and put this on too, and that keeps it in place. Now, almost all machines have little diagrams. So there's little arrows and things on there that you can see, and they're like kind of embossed into the plastic of the machine. And you might be able to see it a little bit better on my kid's Janome. Like right, let me see if I can get, yeah, right there. You can see like there's little arrows in there. So that's what you're looking for as a cheat sheet. So I'm going to come in here, and mine says go up through this little thing right here. So there's a little metal piece right here that I'm going up to. I'll turn it just a little bit there. So I'm going to go under the metal piece, which it says to go first. And then I'm going to go over the next piece, which it says to go here. And by the way, almost all your machines, you can go to their website and they'll have a video on how to thread your machine. Okay, so your exact machine. So you don't even have to guess. Okay, and then you're going to come down here, and it's really important because this next step, we're going around a tension disc, and I want to show you this tension disc if I can get around here. So you're actually going around a little tension disc right here. This little guy right here is a tension disc, and so I want to make sure that there's actually a little metal piece in there, and usually what I'll do is I'll actually hold the thread as I come around that tension disc, and you can almost feel it grab in there. And then I'm going to come up, and if your little hook is like mine, it raises up a little bit, and then you can put it around. My kid's machine has a hole there, and I'll show you how to do that one. Then you're going to come back down through this little part here. And again, this is all on the video, all on the diagram. So it says go up and around this one and then come back down. Now, when I get down here to my needle, I have to actually tilt you a little bit here. When I get down here to my needle, there's usually a little hook that goes around the needle to hold it real close to that needle. And then I'm going to go ahead and simply take my thread, and I'm going to feed it through. And it's sometimes on your thread, if you're like me and you like can't see real well, you might have to trim the edge of this thread off just a little bit just to get a cleaner cut. And then I'm going to reach for my glasses because I really can't see this. And that's the only problem probably with sewing machines is that the thread hole is really kind of tiny. And again, I'm using denim thread, so this is really big and easy to see here. This is jeans top stitching thread. And then, okay, so pro tip, this is in the way. This foot here is in the way, and it's like I want to, my inclination is to put the foot down when I thread it, but you don't actually want to do that because it actually puts tension then on the tension disc, and it can adversely affect how the needle tension is working. So usually what I'll do is I'll actually pull off my foot. Now I have little snap-on feet. I'll actually pull off my little foot and set it aside. And then that gives me a lot more room to get in here. And I got to do this with my right hand. It gives me a lot more room to get in here and get that thread right through that needle there. Sometimes I lick the thread if I need to. And then again, this is a jeans needle, and this is jeans top stitching thread, so it's gonna like fight me every step of the way here to get in here because it's big. It's a big thread. There we go. Okay. No, didn't get it in there. Once I get my thread all the way through there, come on, go in there. Now they make little needle threaders, which I have never, not once, been able to figure out how they work. Something about putting a little metal piece in there and then you loop it around the metal piece, and I have just never been able to figure it out. But once I get it in there, this is where having a thinner thread might actually work a little better, because this is a big eye needle, but it's still pretty tough. And if it still doesn't work, you can always just trim it off again. There we go. Okay, now I'm all the way through. And the important thing about threading is that you want to make sure you don't get like a loop in there or anything when you're pulling that thread. So the thread should come down your needle, go into your needle. Usually it's from front to back, or my case is from front to back, and then I pull it off to the left side. Now, bobbins are similar in that there's going to be directions for how your bobbin goes in here. And usually, like in my case, my bobbin comes off this direction. You can see I need to rethread a new bobbin. Not with that thread though. I always use something a little bit thinner. So usually the bobbin thread comes off in this direction. Your bobbin may be in the front, and it might go in a little case. This is a drop-in bobbin, so it's a little bit different. But you're going to put your bobbin in, and then mine has a little metal clip that I pull it around, and then it goes around this little dial, and then up through this little cutter, and that's it. And that's how my thread works. Now, on my kids' machine, it's a wee bit different. So I'm going to show you on my kids' machine. Okay, so let's get that right in there. Oh, and I put my foot back on because I took it off. And then my feet just snap on, so. Okay. All right, so my kids' machine's a little bit different, and I don't know what we got going on this one here. There's like some thread around here, around this needle, so let me just pull that out. Let me trim that off. Okay, I'll pull this off too. I don't know what we got in there. Okay. All right, so I need a spool of thread for my kids' machine, so let me grab one. Okay, spool of thread here. Okay, and again, it's the Gutermann, so I want to make sure that, let me get it back in the field of view here. There we go. See, I want to make sure that I don't get that little piece in there, this ridge. So I want the ridge to go away. So I'm going to put the ridge on the bottom because this one's up from the top to the bottom. You'll have a hole in the bottom here that you'll put over your spindle. And so again, that spindle on the kids' machine is in the back. And then the instructions here are to come around here. There's a little loop on the top that it goes through. And then it says to go down this way. And you'll notice I'm holding it, I'm pressing it on the top here. It just gives me a little bit more control. And then I'm going around. And then this one has, and I'm rolling it with the hand wheel on the side. This one has a little hole there at the top. So I go up through there and I put my thread through the hole. It's a big hole, actually. It's not even a little hole, it's a big hole. Okay, oops, that didn't all the way go through the tension disc. So I'm gonna go back down and around and then come up, and then I'm gonna go through the hole. Okay, so now I'm through the hole, and then just like on my machine, there's a little hook in front of the needle that it has to go through, and that keeps it right close down to the needle there. And then from here, I'm gonna go ahead and just thread from front to back. And the kids' machine, their little thing doesn't come off, so I'm kind of stuck. I gotta work around this little narrow spot, and also there's no light. But they make little stick-on lights, which I'm gonna actually get for this machine, so I don't have to do it in the dark anymore. So I'll just go ahead and thread. This one should be okay. This one should be pretty easy. And again, you don't want to put the presser foot down when you're threading this. And if I figure out how to use one of those needle threaders, I'll come back and record another video for you. I've never been able to figure out one. And it's like a little flat disc, and it's got like a metal thing on it. They're super cheap. They're almost like they're made out of plastic. Okay. All right. I got it threaded. I don't know how, but I did. Okay, so now I've got it threaded. Now this one, if you have a bobbin that's just a drop-in bobbin and it doesn't have the little thread cutter on it, you can just start, it does have the thread cutter on it, you can just start sewing and it'll pick up the bobbin for you. If for some reason you don't, you can hold onto your thread, you can roll your foot down with the hand wheel, and then you can pull up, and it actually pulls up the bobbin thread from underneath and brings it out right next to your sewing thread. So now you can see I have both threads ready to go here, and I'm ready to sew. So that's my kid's sewing machine, which is just about as basic as you can possibly get. So that's it. That's how you thread your sewing machine. Now your sewing machine will come with your own instructions about threading, and my sewing machine comes with my own instructions about threading, but you can get videos online of your exact machine if you have any questions at all. And at that, I'm ready to sew.